I'm going to talk about something that's really scary. A really scary topic for real estate professionals to talk about. And it's price point, price range, price category. Because when you're working with a seller, even a buyer as well, you have to determine the myth of pricing your home and the facts. And the myths are relatively, you've done some renovations on the home, you love your home, it's a personal aspect of why you want to list it for $1 million because it was the love of your life and it was your first home and your kids grew up there and all your neighbors are a community and it's just a beautiful place to live. I've listed as $1 million. Can't do that one. I cannot do that one. And I'm always gonna have the real conversation with you. We need to make a comparative market analysis of the neighborhood, see what others have sold for, see what others have canceled at, expired at. We need to determine what market we're in right now, not what market we were in 30 years ago, what market we were in 3 months ago. The market is continuously changing. You need to have those hard conversations with the sellers, and as a seller, you need to be prepared to have those hard conversations as well. All right, we gotta sit down and compare the facts. What did your neighbor's house sell as? 565. Why are we pricing yours at 800? We have to really sit down and have a call to action. We have to determine the condition of the property and compare it to the others that sold in the area. What are they lacking? What are they sufficient in? Like what is the price range that is reasonable? We can't list it at $1 million because Lil John grew up there and he's now in the NBA. Yeah, it has some star quality to it. Of course, we can use that as a marketing strategy. Like Lil John from the Golden State Warriors lived here. That might create some motion, but we have to be real with the appraisal. When the appraisal comes in, are we going to be appraising under, over, or in between? Okay, so it's an important conversation to have. I feel like a lot of realtors are not having that conversation with their sellers, with their buyers either, of how we're coming up with this price. It's not a price that we're just coming up with and deciding this is what it needs to be listed as. That's something we can't do anyways. If you want to list it for $1 million, yeah, we can. But I do also want you to know how detrimental that's going to be to the marketing strategy that I have in place, that I am able to provide for you. We can list it at 800 compared to your neighbors that just sold for 565, but you need to also be aware that after 2 weeks, we lose the momentum of the possible buyers who were looking at our property. And now we're gonna have to do a price decrease. And once you do a price decrease, in my opinion, as a buyer, because I work with buyers and sellers, oh, you're negotiable. Why did you drop it from 800 to 565? That's what I would be calling as a buyer. Why did you guys make that price reduction? I feel like when I have those conversations with my clients, it's just imperative that they didn't know how we came up with that price. And these are real estate savvy people. Like they've worked with other realtors. They've experienced buying a home, selling their home, buying another home. These are clients that I'm working with that still had no idea how that price point came about. And that's important. It's important to educate our clients. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we're here for. And at the end of the day, a lot of people believe that realtors don't do enough to get paid that compensation, that commission. When you explain what we do, how we do it, and why we are doing it, that's showing your value. If you don't explain that, I get why a lot of people are like, why am I paying you? I can come with a number. So I can for sale by owner. You're paying me because of the experience and the resources that I have to provide to the sale. You're paying me for the compliance and integrity that I have towards the contracts of the sale. Really scary topic in the real estate industry to talk about your compensation and to talk about pricing strategy. And those are the main things that's gonna get paid and sold. So we have to be comfortable having those conversations. No matter how hard they may be, they're significant and they're very important. And you need to be intentional with every client that you have in explaining those two factors: my compensation and the pricing strategy and your contracts and everything else that goes into it. But I'm just saying the scariest topics for realtors seem to be speaking about their compensation and speaking about a pricing strategy for the home. So if you want it sold, let's have a conversation.